I create relatable, transparent, authentic content reflecting my everyday life as I'm walking with Christ, whether that looks like fashion videos and
Hey, welcome to At the Table podcast, a virtual table where we discuss all things young adulting. My name is Fikayo, and thank you so much for having me in your ears. Today, I am so excited to be able to say that we have at the table Myra K. Myra K is an inspiring, faith-based content creator who has been making a very significant impact on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as she shares her journey through beauty, travel, fashion, lifestyle, all while navigating her relationship with God. Myra began her content creation journey in 2021 after sharing a powerful testimony on YouTube, and since then she's transitioned into full-time content creating. This podcast honestly was so good. Like listening to Myra just talk about her relationship with God and how she's navigating it through this content creating space, and also through her adulting, is definitely one you do not want to miss. So stay tuned, grab a seat, and are you ready? Welcome to At the Table podcast. Welcome to At the Table, Myra. Thank you so much for coming on.
for having me, Fikayo. Honestly, it's an honor to be here.
No problem. Okay, so at the table, we like to do icebreakers in the beginning because, it kind of lets the audience know who you are, and technically it'll loosen you up as well. So, are you ready?
And
Okay. So the first question is morning devotions or evening prayers?
I have to wake up with him, so definitely morning devotion.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Bible study, like group sessions or a solo deep dive?
A little deep dive.
Solo deep dive, why?
I think I'm just a very independent individual and I love my community and I love being with community, but I just love sitting in the Bible for like 2-3 hours if I can. And I feel like I don't always get the chance to do that in a group and like kind of spiral out and like read other things, connect other things and ramble on. So definitely solo.
Okay. Okay, so how do you like to learn life's lessons? Do you like to learn by going through it or through others' people experiences?
That is a good question. I feel like I learn my life lessons after the fact, and that's not always a good thing. So I think through my own experiences, what did I learn from this? How did this go down? Why did this happen the way it happened? And like, I like to reflect. So definitely after the fact.
So do you like following your passions or seeking stability?
Seeking stability, I would say. If I follow my passions in the same sentence, yes, but seeking stability, definitely.
Okay. Now, are you more of a patient girl or you like taking immediate action?
I'm more patient.
Okay. I could learn from you. I, on the other hand. All right, last one. But are you an introvert or an extrovert?
No, I always wonder this about myself. I think I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm very like outgoing, very sociable, very approachable. I love talking to people, but then again, I need my space and I can be shy, awkwardly, and just like weird sometimes. And sometimes I don't want to be around people. Sometimes I'd rather be a homebody and stay inside the house. Sometimes I'd rather be out. I think I'm a mix of both, but more so extroverted.
I wonder, so do you get energy from other people or do you just like the connection of other people?
I definitely get energy just from being myself, and I bring the energy as my own individual. And so I think I just love the feeling of just being connected to people and like hanging out with people. But I also am good to be on my own. Like I do a lot of things on my own, and a lot of people don't realize. But yeah, I like to be alone most times.
Like a true content creator, because I find that like is the truth with a lot of content creators. What would you say?
Yeah, I think a lot of people put themselves out on the internet, but are not actually as extroverted and sociable as they may come across on social media. And I don't think that's a problem. I think a lot of people find it easier to talk to a camera rather
Mm,
than talk to people in person. So, yeah, I would say a lot of content creators are more introverted than it seems.
yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, Myra, you have answered those questions beautifully. Are you ready for your interview?
Yes, I am.
The purpose of this podcast is to really get into your head as a content creator and specifically a Christian content creator. And hopefully at the end of this, you'll also be able to drop tips for an upcoming Christian content creator. Are you ready?
Ma'am.
All right. So first question is, how did you transition into becoming a faith-based Christian content creator?
When I first gave my life to Christ in 2020, I had no intention of being a content creator, like really taking social media seriously. I was still in college. Well, it was pandemic, but I was just working through college and finding myself as a believer first and foremost. But I was just sharing like my life's experiences, what I was learning, and how my life was changing on social media in real time. And I think people really appreciated seeing that transparency and authenticity. And so I kind of just continued, even if people weren't paying attention, cool. But I just continued. And then I got to the point where I wasn't looking down on TikTok anymore. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to start posting outfit of the days. And I'm just going to do me and like just be myself on TikTok because a lot of people are doing this and it seems fun. And then, oh, before that, sorry, I had shared my testimony video on YouTube and that's what really kickstarted everything. But yeah, I just decided to jump into it and really, what's the word? I really wanted to just document my life as it was changing and as Christ was, doing new things in me and share that with people who could relate. So that's how I got into that.
Hmm. Well, really, sharing your life takes a lot of courage. Where did you find that courage to step out and begin to make even that first YouTube video and continue to create content?
I barely had it. I didn't want people in my business. I was scared of how it would be received. I even had, people telling me, don't post this, it's a bit too much. And I just felt God telling me, like, share it. Literally just share it. And then once I did, I felt this like freedom. And once people started telling me like they were inspired by my story to know God more, I was like, yeah, like I'm in the right place. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to continue doing that because God is leading me through it.
Oh, wow, that was really good. So, as a young adult, how has that carried you through your adult life?
Feel like I honestly barely know what I'm doing as someone who just is, newly 23. I feel like I barely know what I'm doing, but it just honestly walking with God one day at a time, doing what I can one day at a time, and just trying to figure out life. But that transition was difficult. I think because I had also transitioned out of my past self and I was stepping into a new Myra and a new understanding of life. And so I was learning new things, I was trying new things, I was leaving old people and old things behind. And yeah, it was difficult, but God's grace is sufficient.
So, how did that like reflect in your content? Did it change the type of content you were making? Did it change your perspective on content creating?
Definitely changed my portrayal of self on social media because I wasn't actually creating content before then, but before, I was posting pictures of dressed like looking like someone that I wasn't supposed to be. And so after Christ came into the picture, it was like this whole new person blossomed. And out of that came the amazing content that I've been able to create. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And what kind of content do you create in your words?
What kind of content does Myra K create? I create relatable, transparent, authentic content reflecting my everyday life as I'm walking with Christ, whether that looks like fashion videos and shows my care for modesty, or it's beauty videos and I'm showing my care for self care, but not idolizing, all the things that come with beauty and being vain, or it's travel and I'm traveling the world and I'm learning things or if it's lifestyle and I'm, just doing fun things or mundane things. I think my content is really just a reflection of me because I put my very authentic self out there. I have no reason to put up a front and pretend to be something that I'm not. And so it's really just my life documented with a few edits. But yeah, it's just me. I always tell people what you see is what you get. And what I put out on social media is exactly who I am in real life. And so if you're watching my content, you're literally just watching me live my life in the good, bad, and ugly.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I've had the privilege of meeting Myra and being in the same spaces as her. And she really is. You really are the same person. It is very, very beautiful.
Yo, bro, you gonna make me cry.
You mentioned something I want to make sure we talk about, but modesty. It is a huge trigger word in Christian communities.
Not trigger.
And it really is. It really is. I just wanted to hear your especially as someone who is very into fashion, very trendy, like, and you look good. You look good. I wonder what your perception of modesty is.
First things first, I feel like what people don't seem to understand, and I'm not saying this towards you, sorry, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking like for the Christian community that be acting real pharisaical. First things first, modesty is about so much more than the clothes. It's about your heart posture. And I think a lot of people don't want to accept that and they don't want to grasp that. And also, for some people who don't understand that lots of us women like to dress up and look good, they think that, you know, modesty is not putting yourself together. It's not wearing makeup. It's not wearing wigs. It's not getting your nails done. Like all of those things are sinful and they're not. And so I think modesty is really just a matter of first and foremost, your heart posture towards Christ. And then secondly, how you decide or how you choose to adorn the outside of you and you and your body, knowing that you are a reflection of Christ and people are going to look to you to find Christ. And so if you're dressed like the world, 9 times out of 10, someone who's trying to find Christ and comes across you is going to be led to the world. So I think people tend to, what's the word? I think people tend to demonize certain aspects of the things that us women enjoy, like hair, makeup, jewelry, and say like that's not modest, which I think is very incorrect. There's so much I could say on this, honestly. I could go on and on, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I also agree. I remember when I was newly saved and when 2018, and I remember asking my then mentor, like, do I have to dress like that? Like,
Literally.
do I have to? And she was like, no, just find like people who dress very well and that are also Christian. So I remember then I went on this huge like Instagram search of young Christian women who were dressing quote and unquote modestly and see what that looks like. And even just now, like even through your content as well, I see you dabble in streetwear and like the really baggy pants and it looks so good, yet
Thank
it is
you.
beautifully modest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Just thank you
Yeah.
for like what you're doing in the fashion industry, especially with us Christian girls. Because sometimes, personally, I feel like I be needing help. Definitely. Myra, what has been the best part about being a Christian content creator?
Ooh. The best part about being a Christian content creator, there's so many things.
Hmm.
I just, oh, mm, I love what I do. I just love that I get to be myself, and I love that yeah, I just love that I get to be myself, and I love to do what I do. I love that I don't have to think too hard to do what I want to do or to create the things that I want to create because, the things like a lot of the things that I create are inspired ideas or God given ideas. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I love that I get to just do what I do and I have that freedom in Christ, honestly.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of the harder things of being a Christian content creator, if there's any?
Oh, there's many. There is many. There is constant conviction, constant guilt, feelings of, feelings of, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? Should I post or should I not post this? There's, I think the Christian community themselves, and I love my Christian community, but I think sometimes people can be a bit harsh, and everyone's always going to have their opinions without understanding that everyone has their personal convictions. And so there are some times that I would wear something or I'll post me doing something, and someone may have a problem with that, but it's like, I'm not sinning. I'm not leading anyone astray. I'm living my Christ-led life by my, personal convictions. Sorry, that may not line up with your everyday life, but this is what I do. Some people still will see you as this sinner or this bad example, this bad role model. And I think just the constant back and forth thoughts of, am I doing the right thing? Am I setting the Christ-like example are two of the things I struggle with the most.
Wow. And I'm curious, what helps you get through that? And I ask that question because I can only assume that there is someone listening to us literally right now, and they're probably also Christian content creator, and they're going through the exact same thing. So how do you get through it?
So just constantly reminding myself of Galatians 1 through 10. I have no one else to please but my Lord and Savior, number one. Number two, not Jesus himself. And yes, I'm held to a standard if I'm putting myself out there. Absolutely. But if I fall short, I was never your God to begin with. So for anyone to be looking at me as the prime example for Christian women or Christian content creators is crazy. I'm just here doing life like everyone else. So yeah, I just remind myself like all of that pressure can't be put on me because I'm not child of God.
Yeah. One thing, this kind of it might sound a little, but it'll come around. One thing I love that God is so intentional about is just like seeds, God starts us so small, so young. And just like a seed, once you plant the seed in the ground, the seed grows into this big, whatever it is, big tree, big flower. And it's through seasons, through time that seed matures. And I feel like sometimes people don't realize that we are just like seeds. And it is through time, it is through seasons that we mature and we learn. And that's the best thing I think about like this podcast and what I'm doing, because it really is following this journey of the seeds, watching how young adults like grow. And I think that is so beautiful personally. And I don't know, I was just thinking about that as you were speaking, and it's true. Like you get to like figure things out yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious, Myra, do you have any mentors that like are helping you, that really inspire you?
Within life, absolutely. With creating space, I definitely have been on my own, and it's been kind of lonely, and especially since I lived in a state where there's nothing happening here and no one really cares about Ohio. And so there's content creators here, but not really much motion or traffic, I guess you would say, for anyone to really care. And so the community is so small, and I feel like this would be my year to branch out and seek that guidance in the content creating space. But yeah, not for content specifically, but definitely life. I have 3 mentors.
Really? And what do they teach you?
Get me together every other week that I'm acting up and making mistakes, and just are just some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, honestly. You know them. Shout out to Aurora and Chris and Miracle. I love them so much. They have really helped to keep me grounded in my faith and just pushed me beyond my limits and boundaries, and well, not boundaries, but yeah, push me beyond my limits to just, do new things, to just really seek the Lord for real. I love them.
Oh, that was beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
what advice would you give a young adult who is trying to balance their faith, career, and also the challenges of adulting?
Seek the Lord in all that you do and seek him first. I've been eating, living, and breathing Matthew 6:33 for the past week and a half or maybe 2 weeks now. Yeah, eating, living, and breathing Matthew 6:33. Seeking Christ first in all of his righteousness, knowing that everything that you are seeking, desiring, chasing, anticipating will be added on afterwards. Definitely the go-to.
Myra, what does that look like? Like to you personally, what does that look like for you?
Looks like dying to my flesh every single day and just really seeking the Lord in his infinite wisdom and seeking that clarity and direction for every decision that I'm making.
What does that look like? What does dying to yourself mean? What does it mean to seek the Lord in every decision that you're making? How do you know when you're hearing God? You personally, like, how do you get that conviction of knowing, yes, I'm in the right place?
Question. So let's say like in content, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pray over all of the content that I put out and all the things that I do. And if I just feel that inkling in my spirit, like, don't post that, don't do this, it doesn't get done. Or do this like this. Honestly, that's just how I go about it. And I don't just incorporate God into my daily decisions, but like I literally ask him to be like that directing source and just wait for his voice and go about things like that. When it comes to dying to my flesh, I would say, yeah, just as I said, like, if I have that feeling like, yeah, I probably shouldn't post this or I probably shouldn't do that, then I don't. And then in times where, like, maybe I want to use a trending audio for a sound, but it's not like an appropriate song, my spirit will be like, yeah, don't do that. And I'm just like, yeah, I know better. And then I don't. So just things like that.
Very good. That was exactly where I was trying to get. Good job. You know how specific you were is really going to help someone, because I think sometimes we have these like vague statements, especially like with verses, like they're vague, but I'm more
Yeah.
curious in hearing how you implement it in your life.
Yeah.
And that was really good. Do you think there's any question that I should have asked you that I missed?
No, I think everything that you've asked me is perfect to exemplify who I am and what I do.
The last question, or maybe if I'll think of another, but what are your
Okay.
future aspirations, Miss Myra K, both for your personal journey and also for your platform?
My future aspirations. I want to, I want to, I want to do a lot of things. I want to continue to create safe spaces for women, Black women, young women, whoever they are in Christ, to just seek him and know him in creative ways. I want to continue to host Christian events in my city and, God willing, branch out. I want to continue to create amazing content and be myself. I want to find myself in the real estate space, killing it and crushing it. And I just want to continue to serve others and glorify Christ in the best way that I can possible. I love being a part of Christian endeavors, creative projects, and things like that for the Lord. And so I'm just excited for where God is taking me and all the things I'll get to do. Honestly, I just know there's so many things coming that I have yet to even think of. But yeah, I'm excited.
Beautiful. Now, Myra, I should have asked this question in the beginning, but
hmm
who is Myra K?
Wow. Who is Myra K? I wish I knew. No, I'm joking. Myra K is a multifaceted, creative, ambitious individual. I am a Christ-led content creator on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, sharing beauty, fashion, travel, lifestyle, and relatable content. I have my own creative business endeavor called Moments with Myra K, which is for event blogging from weddings to conferences to parties. Well, not parties, but like birthday parties, fun things like that, and helping people capture their best moments on their biggest days. I have my own ministry group called Christ and Vibes, which is for the edification, encouragement, and enjoyment of believers, just to curate safe spaces, fun spaces for Christians to step out of the box and not just have worship nights, but do other fun things while still serving the Lord and not sinning. And I am just a busy babe with a very busy mind and lots of fun ideas and all over the place, honestly, but in a good way. Always busy, always, looking up to the next big thing to accomplish and do. And just, yeah, trying to exemplify Christ in the best way that I can with everything that I do. So I think that's Myra K.
All right. Thank you so much, Myra. It has been a
Ew.
privilege interviewing you.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And God bless this platform, this ministry, this endeavor. Kyle, I'm so proud of you. I always told you, like, your voice is perfect for this type of stuff. You have the voice of a poet, and just being on here is honestly just a blessing. God bless you. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. Myra, let the people know. Where can we find you? Where should we follow you? I will make sure that I add everything in the caption, but just tell us everything.
Okay, I can be found on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest if you want to add that to the list, I guess. And I am working on my LinkedIn, so you can find me there as well. But definitely Instagram, TikTok for as long as the government wants to keep it up, and YouTube.
That was hilarious.
They're really playing. They are really playing games.
They are really playing, girl. They're trying to snatch it off the internet. Thank you so much, Myra. Thank you.